Thank you. Yep, we are supposedly.
I'm surprised I didn't get a notification yet. Where's the look for the channel?
It's just notifying my people, my places. Just send a notification on now.
Yep. So far,
I'm surprised I didn't get a notification.
It's working.
It's working, yeah.
For the channel.
You can turn it off now so it doesn't echo. Forever. All right, we're good. We're driving around. So we're going to go to Market Basket, and then we're going to just drive around and chill.
And we still haven't figured out what we're going to eat yet tonight.
All right, well, you can come, if you have any ideas. I mean, you're going to Market Basket. I don't know if you want to pick up something. I can cook. We have the spinach still. I don't mind cooking something, but I don't know what. So
that's what I was gonna say, because I kind of feel like all set with that pasta for the time being.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. But I mean, I'm down to cook, but you have to give me an idea or something.
I don't know if I feel like sloppy joes, to tell you the truth.
Oh, all right. That would have been something for the salsa. Thank you. This is yours, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I want to stop at a barrel if I can to get rid of
some stuff.
Yeah.
This is it, right? Two
yeah.
items? Okay.
I don't even have that much to throw away. I just want to get rid of it.
That's fine.
And I love sloppy joes. I do. I just don't know if I feel like that tonight.
All right. Well,
I don't know. Maybe something will occur to me or occur to you.
We can do it the new way with the salsa.
I know.
But you would have to buy the salsa.
Yeah.
So
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe for ease, maybe. I know that's easy.
It can be.
Okay, what else? Go for there's a bird right there eating. Look out, you guys.
I know, that's why I'm gonna move back more. Can I go now?
Yeah.
I gotta move away.
The salad was good yesterday, though, right?
Yeah, I had the whole thing. I finished it. It was good. And I guess to be fairly priced, because I know that place is a fancy joint.
Right.
So I was thinking to myself, that's why I asked you, like, depending on how much it is, I'll buy one. Because I was like, I was half expecting the salad to be like 20 bucks.
Yeah.
I was half expecting it to be, because it's just the way they want to operate, you know? Because it's a fancy place in Salem. But when you said 12, I was like, oh, that sounds like a good deal. So when I got one, it was good. I can't deny it. It was good. It was worth the 12. I didn't feel
worth the $12.
It was worth the $12, and I did not feel rip off. I did not feel like, oh, that they fucking ripped me off. Like, now I need something else on top of it, because I didn't. Like, I was satisfied. You know.
I feel like I could pay about that much for a salad from a local sub shop. For the large size salad, I could pay about that much, and it's a much higher quality. They even use like different ingredients than it's traditionally done, like the marinated sun-dried tomatoes and the caramelized onions, which a lot of places don't put on their wedge salads. So it's a good quality salad. It's a good size, and like you said, they were like considered like a more of a high-end restaurant. So I feel like that's pretty fair. You know, 12 seems fair. Because I think like the chicken Caesar from Pete's is probably about that much. I don't think it's far off from $12.
I don't think it is. It's probably not. It's probably around 15, and it's like more comparably.
Right.
I mean, will the chicken Caesar from Pete's fill you up?
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
It'll take care of it. But comparably, quality-wise, one is better than the other.
Right.
Even without the chicken.
Right. Well, the thing about Pete's is their blue cheese is really, really good. It is. It's really good, but it doesn't... Or no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about their Caesar dressing. Their Caesar dressing is really, really good, but it seems to get us sick when we eat it.
Yeah.
Because it's either that or the lettuce. hoodie on when I get out of the car.
Mm.
It's that time.
Yeah, I have hoodie on now, and I feel like, oh, okay, it's a good thing I have a hoodie. Because it's not, I don't feel uncomfortable. One or the other. Too hot or too cold right now. I feel normal.
So in order to make the sloppy joes, is all we would need is some hamburger and salsa. We have one can of
Yeah, one
which I
can
can
of
get
manwich.
more.
Yeah, so we don't need more. I mean, because we're gonna add the salsa to it, so that's gonna
Okay,
make
so we
it.
don't need more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you
Yeah.
can buy some rolls. It's up to you.
Well, which would you prefer?
I don't. To me, I'm easy. Whatever. The Hawaiian rolls are fine with me as long as they're still good. I haven't checked them.
Yeah. Well,
But-
you only bought those a few days ago, didn't you?
I think so. Yeah.
And I haven't touched them, so
Yeah.
I assume that they're still good.
Their cheese. So the only thing needed is ground meat, maybe like a pound,
Mhm.
like not small. No, it doesn't need to be like it's just for me and you tonight. And
A salsa.
Tostitos.
Actually, like getting sick. and
Yeah,
starts
from ignoring
showing its
all those
face.
things in your 30s, like you said.
Yeah.
All those things that you ignored in your 30s that you
Yeah.
should have probably taken care of, like high blood pressure,
Mhm.
cholesterol, like you said. It started creeping up on you in your 40s. And,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah, I was just thinking of that about that lady. There was just no spring chicken no more. Me and you, we're just no spring chickens no more.
We're not, and it's. I feel like now I get it. I remember back in my like teens and in my, they didn't feel middle aged. That they still felt young. That they still felt like a kid, and I totally get that they still feel like youthful. They still feel like kids, but the world is, at that point handed you a lot of responsibilities, and
it helps when you think about stuff like that, because it starts happening. It's like that everybody in your age group, kind of like everybody, like almost everybody is going through the same shit.
Yep. Yep.
It's either starting to go through it, in the middle of going through it, or in the end of going through it, or have already gone through it. In the case, let's say, of your friend who doesn't mean anything for anybody. It's just like that's all of us have to go through up and down. It's up and down. I wonder sometimes if it's easier, because I don't know, right? I don't know, like, if like people there live their lives a certain way, like how they feel at the end of it. Because sometimes I do feel like I wish I was just more like a drone. Like I wish just like had two like of those like horse things, whatever they call those things.
Like those, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, like the blinders, the
Blinders,
visors.
yeah. Like and sometimes I wish I was a cog in the machine, and I was just like doing without thinking almost, and just like going through life, and then just like not, and then that's it, because a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are just going through life as a cog in the machine. It's just like doing the steps that society tells you need to do. You need to get married at this time, you need to have a home at this time, you need to have a kids at this time, you need to do this at this time. By the time you're like in your 50s or your 60s, you need to do this. And it's just like, and almost everybody to the T follows that formula,
Mm-hmm.
They meet somebody, get married, have kids, buy a home, yada 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 yada. That's all. That aspect of it, I sometimes I guess wish I was more like that. I was more like I could like just like not think about, because I feel like in when it comes to that camp, there's two camps: people that think about it all the time, and then people that just do it.
I have very mixed feelings about it. I definitely don't ever want to be the type of person that doesn't feel things, even though it definitely comes at a cost, because when you feel pain or you experience loss, boy, do you feel it. But I still wouldn't trade that. I still wouldn't want to
Feel.
Yeah, I still wouldn't want to not feel.
Like Severance.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to forget. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you feel big pain, it's because you felt big love, and I just wouldn't want the trade off.
Yeah. That's ultimately, yeah. Go ahead.
I do, like I said, though, I have mixed thoughts about it. And the reason why is because, as we've talked about a lot lately, is that, like, even though, like, I've had, like, quite a few losses in the past, like, several months, major losses, I have, as we've talked about, don't even feel like I've really properly been able to grieve because I just simply haven't had time, because it's been one crisis after the other, which has put me in autopilot. So I'm able to keep going and just keep focused on whatever the next task is at hand, because crises are still happening all around me. But I feel like even that comes at its cost, because I'm just not dealing with things, not because I'm intentionally not dealing with things, but like because I literally just haven't had time. I've been like so focused on, okay, got to get her to this appointment, got to deal with this crisis. Now there's this crisis that has to be dealt with. And I feel like if I stop to focus on like grief, I won't be able to get through those things. But it comes at the cost of putting all of that aside. It's just going to be waiting for me later at God knows what point in my life. That's all going to come bubbling out.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry. You know, it's not, none of it's your fault. And I'm complaining, but I'm also kind of not. I am complaining, but I'm not complaining at the same time, because I've just accepted that, unfortunately, suffering is part of life too. It's awful, but suffering is part of life too. If you love someone, eventually either they're going to die first or you're going to die first. One of the two.
Yeah. That is the way it goes, huh?
It's true. If you love someone, one of you is going to die first. One of you is going to say goodbye to the other one.
Anyways,
I know. I don't really have too much left
to add. Yeah, me neither.
Currently, anyway. Because believe it or not, like I was actually, like I am still currently in a pretty good mood. Like I said, my mom was in a good mood today.
Well, I'm not. I'm like I want you. I'm glad that you're in a good mood, and me too. And like that's why I wanted to go out. But I'm just saying that, like, yeah, like I don't want to bring that.
I know. It's a dark topic.
I just wanted to like get it out because at the moment it seemed like we wanted to share, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is dark, and then you know.
Look out!
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's parking. He's parking. I wasn't sure too. Like I'm like, what is he trying to pull out in there? But he's just parking in that spot.
Yeah. Just getting it out what was going on, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right, babe.
All right. I have the masks.
Be hasty.
All right, so ginger ale, a hamburger, and a salsa. If you need anything else, call me. Those are the only three things I can remember right now.
Yeah, I shouldn't need anything. Ginger ale, Tostitos, salsa, mayo, and ground meat.
Okay.
All right.
Any preference on the meat? More
No.
fatty, less fatty? Okay.
Whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
I almost dropped my phone.
That's
I
all.
forgot the return, but if you can drop me off at the other door, that's where the customer service desk is. I'll just pop in and pop out. Right after I squish this box of masks. Yeah, I forgot it, but it's at the other door. And I got my receipt and everything. Got a water bottle, hairbrush, some minty mints. Got mints here if you need them or want them.
Well, I'm drinking coffee right
Yeah.
now, so after maybe.
All right,
Are you
I'll
gonna
get
go
out
down?
now. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks, Angel.
Done and
Done and Dunzers. Okay, and look out, I don't want you to soak up that coffee that's leaking out onto your hoodie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I got the hamburger, I got the salsa, I went to the chips aisle because you know how sometimes they have them attached to the chips, and I found the smaller size.
Good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We didn't need the larger one.
We didn't. It was gonna probably go to waste.
Go to waste, yeah. So I got the hamburger, the salsa, a ginger ale, and I got a package of Swiss rolls.
Swiss rolls.
The generic Swiss rolls from Walmart turned out to be pretty good. They taste exactly like the original, like the Little Debbie one. Exactly the same.
They bioengineered it.
Yep.
Like everything else they do over there.
That is one of those cases where I definitely wouldn't be surprised if those two did in fact come from the same factory because they're identical. They taste exactly the same.
Well, that's what happens most of the time. They're all like the same.
Yep, a lot of them are.
They just make different type of products for different type of people.
Yep, a lot of them are. I don't think that all generics are created equal, but a lot.
And to get their product out, and they show like on a highlighted like shelf, like what was from like 2 or 3 companies and what was like independent, and the whole shelf was like colored white. Let's say from like all these like 3 major companies, and his thing aisle was like a small little part in the bottom of the aisle was like for independent like people that like are actually doing something different, you know.
It's really hard to break through. It really is, and that's why I think that's why from time to time at the supermarket, it hasn't happened to me in a while, but it's happened, where you'll see a new brand that maybe you'll even really like and really fall in love with, and it'll just disappear because it's really hard for them to compete. And one thing I found out a few years ago, which is really interesting, I don't know where I heard this from, or I don't know. I don't think it was John Oliver. I don't think, maybe. But every single thing that you see in the grocery store, on the shelves, on the end cap, are all predetermined. And I know that might kind of sound like it should go without saying, but it's a little bit more in depth than that on the surface. All of the companies, all of those products that you see on the shelves, they all pay for that particular space on shelf, that particular shelf. And different shelves call different, what is it?
Decepticon.
Yeah, I saw a thing. And different shelves cost different prices depending on like how close to eye level, as an example, that spot is, will be more expensive. Something that's closer to eye level than something that's all the way at the bottom. So to get back, I guess, to what I was originally trying to say is that it's really hard for new small companies to compete. They don't have that kind of like big company, big money to get that prime spot in the shelf. And I think that's a lot of times, like there have been times in the past. I'll never forget, there was one particular brand of yogurt. I don't remember what it's called anymore because it's been like 10 years now. But I fell in love with that. It was my favorite yogurt. It was the best yogurt, and it just disappeared as quickly as it came into the supermarket. Yep. It's just hard. It's harder for them to compete, like that guy was talking about. It's really hard for them to compete.
Somebody recently too, speaking of all the food and everything, you notice things like that more when you're a grown up, not when you're a kid. But one guy was saying how, like, he was trying to make Mexican food at home. There was a black guy, and he went to get sour cream, and he's like, "Do they have anything other than this brand?"
Than
sour
Daisy,
cream?
yeah.
Daisy. He's like, the whole wall is Daisy.
Yeah.
Daisy Squeeze, Daisy Box, Daisy this. And he's like, "Is there any other like sour cream I can try? Because I would like to try a different brand, but there isn't." He's like, the whole shelf is Daisy.
Yeah, it sucks.
It was like. And I was like, I said to myself when I saw it, I was like, yeah, what if you wanted any other kind?
Yep.
Why can't I have,
you can't.
Why can't I have an option of at least 5 more sour creams? You're telling me that I have one option, and it's Daisy, and that's it? And that's what it is in certain places. That's the only option they have. It's wild. I don't care for sour creams. I'm good with that, but still though.
The best he could have probably done was to go over to the Latin section and see if they have their own like crema, which isn't exactly the same.
Yeah, which
but
they won't. Yeah, it's not the same, like you said. So it's not the.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a quick drive around because I want to do the Sloppy Joe stream. So,
Sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
Sloppy Joe time.
So I want to like while I cook and I'll put the look at them, they have all those kind of thing. While I cook and I'm gonna use the neck brace to cook.
Yep.
Maybe you can clean in the background and get things ready.
Sure.
Like the bread and
Shower.
the fixings.
Fixins. Fixins.
While I cook the meat and shouldn't take that long. I hope. So yeah, I'm gonna do one spin around because we're 40 minutes. I feel like an hour is good.
Yeah.
And driving around, especially because we had no particular reason to drive around.
At least I got that return done. It gave me a good reason to do it. So
that's done. That's done and over with.
Especially because at the supermarket, at the grocery store, it's very... I do sometimes make returns, but I normally don't. I normally say, I should return that. I'm going to return that. And then it just ends up either...
The time goes by.
Yeah, the time goes by. It sits in the house until it either gets thrown away or, I decide, well, I might as well eat it. I'm not going to return it anymore. But, I still can't believe that that's gone. Like I said, I think that place is probably... I wouldn't be surprised if that store was there longer than I've been alive. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's why I hope. Like, I mean, did they see it closing? Did you see a sign there at all?
I didn't see. They might have, but I didn't see if there was a sign. But it is empty. So
that's new, right?
Yeah.
Was this toys?
Oh, yep, and books.
Yeah, silly
bunny toys. Oh,
that's new.
yeah, cute. Look, oh,
the
cute.
Ghoul bus. That seemed new to me.
Yeah, it is.
Being that we used to be here every day. I was saying that to my aunt yesterday when we were driving around. I was saying to how we used to like pretty much live here.
Yeah.
We were here like every single day.
Yep. Second home.
And before we came here, which by the way, like I said, I presented it to them. I'm just gonna go pick up food because we're gonna pick up a salad. Like right before, and I said, "Oh, do you guys want me to drop you off?" At that moment, my mom did want me to drop at least her off because she's like, "Well, what if something happens to the car?" That's what literally she said, and I was like, I said to her, like I said it, but I wasn't mean, but I did say to her, like, this is the things that frustrate me about you because I said, like, I just said to you, we're going to pick up food and coming back, just sip sap, that's it, Nothing, don't catastrophize that something major is going to happen with the car between here and Salem, I said, why do you need to do that, You can just say, I want to stay, I don't want to go, there's a bus over there.
Oh, yeah.
Like an old school bus.
Yeah, the old VW bus.
Yep. Yeah, you blocked me from making the turn, piece of guy.
Sarah's out of control.
Who's there?
Sarah.
Oh, I can't see it. But yeah, she was like, what if the car dies on the way to Salem? I'm like, it's not gonna die. We'll be fine. And we were fine.
Yep.
Look at his dog paws in his shirt. You saw that?
No, I didn't. I did notice she had a pink collar, or a pink handkerchief or something to the effect. Scarf, something like that on. My mom said that I think today is supposed to be tomorrow is supposed to be similar to today.
That's
very
nice.
Pleasant. Yeah, it is. Let me check the weather. I really, 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 really can't wait, and I'm super excited to get back out there.
Well, luckily you have the whole summer to do it.
I know.
And the whole fall.
I know. But I'm eager to get on it now. And yes, but I am eager to get on it now.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to do the yarding.
I see.
I'm super excited for it.
She looks like she could be a model. Like the posture.
She has that look. She
Right?
could be. Yeah, she
That's
has
what I
that
mean.
look.
It was the way the walking, I felt, what gave it away.
I think you might be onto something, Angel.
Yeah, it was the way she walked. That's what it was. It wasn't anything else. Anybody can be a model at this point. You don't need to be like conventionally attractive to be a model. But the walk is what gave it away. I was like, oh, that. I see more and more of those little bikes around
Me
town.
too.
I wonder if they're becoming like, it must be affordable, I guess.
I was thinking that. I think that literally might be it.
Because it's not the first one I've seen. I've seen like now a couple different ones. Not the same guy, a few different ones. And they're like small ones. They're not like full-size bikes. They're like mini bikes.
Especially considering that, like, that's from what I understand, that young people now really aren't buying cars like they used to 20 or 30 years ago, that they don't really drive that much. Most of them a lot of them at least use Uber, and what few there are that don't, that might be interested in using buying a car, who can afford anything, especially a car. When it's the cost of living is, in and of itself is outrageous, never mind purchasing a new vehicle. So I'm not the least bit surprised if those things start becoming more popular. Not at all.
I just feel like you have to, like you said, like, I don't know how kids nowadays are like dealing with money, because I feel like it's almost like funny money and fake money that you can't even think about it, because it's so much of it that they want from anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a house or a car, that you're not even. I feel like if you are like in our earning bracket,
Yeah.
you can even think about expensive things, because if you think about the prices of them, you'll be like, yeah, that's impossible. You have to just like, maybe it'll happen, but if I think about the price, it'll definitely never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to get a Beetle bus, like an iBug, in the future after this car.
Yeah.
But if I think about the price, like I saw the monthly lease price in the car.
How much is it?
Guess what it is?
All right, I'm gonna guess, because I already know it's gonna be outrageous. So don't tell me. I'm gonna guess it's over 500. I'm gonna go, because I'm thinking what would be ridiculous. 800.
$700.
$700.
$700.
That's half
A
of
month.
a lot of people's rental costs.
A month.
If they're lucky.
That's without insurance, without anything. Just $700 a month. And I feel like, yeah, I could do that, but I wouldn't have to. I
wouldn't want to struggle like that. Yeah.
Well, no, I could do it, but I wouldn't need to shut off my brain of like, you're putting $700 a month on this, and even though it may be very well worth it, by the way, it may be very well worth it. It still is fucking, for you to make that expense in our bracket, is what I'm saying to you. You would have to not think about it, or we would have to change our income somehow.
That's what I mean. Like, would have to stop spending money on anything else, anything. So that's mean, like, I'd feel like I'd have to struggle for the car, and I don't want to have to struggle for a car.
But that's what I mean. But isn't that wild?
It is wild. And you know what? There's that car from yesterday too.
Yeah,
I love
another
that
one.
car. Yeah, I
tiny
love
one.
that little car.
They're getting smaller. The bikes, the cars.
Yeah, but yeah, I think if we were gonna pay that much, would be better off, and we probably could, and we could afford one, would be better off getting an old VW bus and putting the work into it for $700 a month.
You have to think about logistics. It's not gonna be tomorrow. So once this car is dead, let's say a couple more years, if we're lucky, then the price of that might be lower, and we may be able to afford it. That's fine. But I'm just saying, talking about just because we were talking about.
Okay.
So I'll head to CVS now.
Okay.
Just to get out of it.
I don't know why, as I've suggested to her, I don't know why she doesn't just let them ship it to her. It would make her life so much easier.
It's just like a matter of like her controlling shit. Like she called me yesterday. Like, I'm not gonna get into this all night, but she did yesterday, because we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
She called me about like the Amazon car. She got charged her car.
How many more times do you need to tell her the same thing over and over?
Yeah, well, I mean, me and her got into a huge
I bet.
argument about that. No, last time, not
I
this
remember,
time.
yeah.
This time I was just like,
Exactly.
this time I was just like,
It's gonna happen again. You know, how many more times do you need to say it to her? It's not your fault anymore.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like I feel like, you know, like there's only so much I can do, and like she's just like going back to her routine of, like, and I feel like I don't want that nonsense.
And like I was saying to you yesterday, a lot of it, I think maybe even most of it is out of boredom, which is really unfortunate.
Just something to do, lady.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many
things
that you
to
can
do.
put
I know.
your hands into.
Yeah.
With ease.
Yep.
Not like, and I'm not saying none of it, but if you are deciding that it has to do with physicality, there's plenty of things that you can do at home without physicality. You know.
Yeah. I know it.
You just have to want to do it. It's a difference. That's the problem with her, and one of the main problems with her is that she just doesn't want to do it. That looks like an Xbox icon.
It does. It does. Yep. It sure does.
That's an Xbox logo right there in IRL life. Yeah. Xbox.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Seeing Xbox everywhere. So I would like to bring those vacuum bags upstairs.
Okay.
And continue to do that project. I don't know how much more you have to back up. I know I did forget one thing, like one of those like well, you have jackets that you still need to put away. So like when you put the coats, there's like I have one of those like those winter pants, the fleece ones, the double ones that we have, the snow ones. I need to put those away.
Okay. Yep, I know which ones you're talking about.
The thermal ones.
Yeah. Yep.
And then what I would like to do is I would like to eventually like try to organize that third floor upstairs a little bit better so we can store things better.
Yeah.
And then I would like to do the same with the air vacuum things with the clothing that is in the basement. Because it's time to vacuum seal that clothing and bring it upstairs maybe. Why leave it? We shouldn't be in the basement anyways.
Yeah.
Finally go through that clothes. Maybe there's something you can,
maybe
get rid of, because that clothes at that point is vintage at this point because it's from the early 2000s.
I know it.
It's funny because I've like said that because yesterday I was watching what's his name, Harmon, the guy who does the movie watches reviews with his wife.
Yeah.
And they were watching iRobot, and in that movie they're in the future, and Will Smith says to his grandmother, because he got Converse, he's like, oh yeah, these are the vintage era 2004, he says to her. And I was thinking, yeah, like that clothing now
we're
is
in
vintage.
Yeah,
now that clothing that I own, that I still have in the basement, like my school clothes or my 20s clothes, is now considered vintage clothes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wild. I remember being in thrift stores in my 20s looking at vintage clothing, and now my clothing is the vintage clothing.
Yeah. I don't know who, there was somebody, some TikToker, a young person who was like trying to shit on like I think millennials or Gen Zers or something. And some guy came out right away, like responded. And was, besides the fact, he goes like points out right away, besides the fact that you're wearing the clothes
yes, they
that you bought from the thrift store that I donated about 10 years ago, you're wearing my clothes, you need to shut the fuck up, is pretty much what he said, Even
the new clothes that are being manufactured are right now, they're very much in the 90s style.
Yeah, right.
Back to the past.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I don't follow fashion, so I would be the wrong person to know. But I don't know what would be in right now. I know that there was an era from like just hearing in the background noise from you and other people. That there was a capri era and a this era and a that era and a flannel era. But I feel like, where are we now?
I feel like right now there definitely is a like 90s throwback era happening
we're in
now,
the
a
vintage
grunge era
era.
happening now, where like that's, you could almost in any direction see a kid that the way that they're dressed is almost identical to what it would have been like when we were growing up in the 90s. With the exception of leggings, that's kind of like a newer thing. The leggings yoga pants.
Yes, see, for
That's
girls,
a new thing.
For girls, that's like, it seems like it's gonna be hard for you girls to go back to the baggy stuff, even though rightly so, and I understand it because I understand that the whole thing is fashion and the pants need to be tight to show your ass, but I also understand like logistically for a female it's not comfortable all the time.
It gets tiresome also
all the time.
sometimes. It's like
And
we're all wearing a uniform because we all have the same black pants on, the same black tight yoga stretched legging pants.
yeah, and like, but yeah, societalistically to see you guys in baggy jeans walking around again is gonna be hard.
It's starting.
Yeah,
It's starting.
because yeah, society is really gonna fight you guys on that, on your baggy pants. But it is starting.
It's happening.
Because in the 90s girls would wear like those jeans.
It was all about abs and boobs in the 90s. It was not
about the ass.
about bums.
Yeah.
It was absolutely not about bums.
Yeah, well, it was
People were
not.
trying to get rid of their large backsides, not
They were.
like show them off.
Yeah. It was like a cause of shame back then.
It was.
It was. They won't know that. Nobody knows the pre-Kardashian, pre-J-Lo
Right.
era. Because everybody gives like credit to the Kardashians, but I feel like
It really was J-Lo. It was.
J-Lo was the
She
one who
started
like
it.
started like the transition. She made
was.
she made the people like what they once didn't like,
Yes.
which is what happened, you know. And but yeah, prior to that, it was something to be ashamed of. Girls would be like shunned for having a big ass, and they would be made fun of for having a
Yeah,
big
that
ass.
was the thing. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Nobody considered it attractive.
No.
It wasn't even by men for the most part. It wasn't considered really an attractive feature. They were all over boobs and abs, and yeah, that is it is a strange thing. I think it's good, but it's a strange thing to see happen in the culture. And nobody cares about boobs anymore. I mean, I'm sure men still like them, obviously, and, you know, women too, but they're not like a thing. Like, it was all, that's... The way people are getting BBLs now is the way they were getting ridiculous boob jobs in the 80s and 90s. Where, like, butts are starting, people are getting BBLs that are, like, extreme looking, that, like, don't look even really, like, humanly possible anymore. And that's what girls and women were doing in the 80s and 90s with their boobs, getting, like, big, huge, ridiculous boob jobs. But, because that was what people were into at the time. And now, like, we were just chuckling about, but not really, nobody cares anymore.
Nobody does. It is true. Like, at one point, like, that would be like a deal breaker. Like you said, in the 90s, that would be a deal breaker if you didn't have, like, huge, you know, boobs. And now it doesn't matter. Like, you could have, like, now if you don't have an ass, it's a deal breaker for people.
I'll tell you one thing, as you already know, because you were there, nobody was trying to make their ass bigger. That is for sure. Nobody was trying to make their ass bigger.
They were going to the gym to get
rid of
smaller.
it. Exactly.
And now they go to the gym with the sole purpose of making it bigger, which is wild. Because that's what it was. They make it the sole purpose to go make it smaller back in the day, and now they go with the sole purpose of making it bigger. You know? It's wild.
And I keep saying abs because it is true. It may not have been the thing that necessarily the people were discussing, but the way that, like, the clothing was made for girls.
It was all ab showing.
Yes, especially with those low-rise jeans, tiny tops. Abs were a big, big deal.
Yeah. It's weird what people are into, get into at certain times. Because like you said, now the brain has been changed so much that it's like you said, it's not even considered. Boobs are not even, like, people don't even care. It's like, you know.
hope Saturday is going to be nice out.